Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and in this video we are going to talk about format specification. And that's actually a very important video, a very important topic, because it's the basis and the core for some of the following sections that we are about to learn in this course. So in the previous exercises, we've seen that we can use the printf command to display different things on the screen. Different text that was just specified between these double quotes, right? And suppose that you have this following line of code, printf I am 20 years old, a simple line that displays your age on the screen. And next year you're going to be what, like 21 years old, right? Then you could just use printf I'm 21 years old. And if you would run it, you would simply get the same result, just with 21 years old instead of 20 years old. So these two lines are pretty much the same. We have the printf command, and we also have some text, some string between these double quotes. And all I want to do is to simply sort of separate this age, this 21 or 20 years old, this number, out of the string text appearing between these double quotes. Something like that. Simply take a look at this one. Printf I am years old. And then use a comma, and after the comma, just the number that we extracted out of here. And this %d is just some sort of a placeholder which will be simply replaced by the number, in our case 20, that comes right after the first comma. So if you will try to build and run this program, you will see the same text, the same result displayed on your screen as you've seen previously. I am 20 years old. It's the same, right? So what happened here is just that this %d, this placeholder, was replaced by the number 20, which appears here right after the comma. And if we want to change this line to support in the next year, then we should do something like this. We should use printf I am %d years old and just use 21 after the comma. So the %d will be replaced by the first number that comes right after the double quotes, comma, and then this number, this 21, will be replaced here, and it will be printed out to the screen. I am 21 years old. We simply try to print the text that is within these double quotes, and we just need to replace these occurrences of percentage something, %d or percentage something else, with the corresponding value coming after the right double quotes or right after this first comma. Good. First of all, it works, and that's also an accomplishment, right? Now in the next section, this whole reason why we use the format specification will become much more clear to you, because we are going to study what is an input and how to read an input from the user. And in this section we will also understand the importance and how it's being used, all of this format specification thing. Alright, so now let's take a look at a couple of more examples. So in the first example we will be using more than just one placeholder. So here we have basically two placeholders, two %d right here and here. And both of them are going to be replaced with some values before being displayed on the screen, right? So for the first %d placeholder, we'll have its corresponding first number coming right after these double quotes and this first comma. It's 20, the number is 20, and 20 is going to replace this first %d. So when printed out on the screen, instead of this first %d, we will just see the number 20. And as for the second %d, it will be replaced by the second number here, which is 21. Is that clear? There was nothing hard or complicated so far. Simply printing out some text on the screen by using some new guy that we've just introduced, which is called a placeholder. So let's try to run it and see what happens. Alright, so today I'm 20 years old, and next year I'm going to be 21 years old. So 20 for this %d and 21 for this %d. And also please note that we haven't seen a new line here separating between the real text and this default text, and the reason is because we didn't use a \n here. So that just was a quick reminder for you to not forget using \n at the end of the text. Now for the second example, let's assume that our average grade is something like 93.7. Well, that's pretty good. And if that's the case, you're doing pretty great. So basically now what we would like to do is to print out this grade on the screen. So basically my average grade is %D 93.7, and instead of the %D placeholder, we would like to print this number. And now I want you to open up code blocks and to try to run this line on your own and see what happens. I guess that 93.7 is not exactly what you can see on your screen, right? You've got some strange number, don't you? And for some of you the number printed may also be not so strange, and to be something like 93, just without the remainder of 0.7. But clearly you shouldn't get the expected 93.7 on your screen. So why is that? You see guys, this %D placeholder that we've just used here, we also used it in the previous example for format specification. Meaning that this %D was used also, let's say, to replace numbers of integer format like 20 and 21. And when you're trying to use this %D to be replaced by some sort of a floating point number like 93.7, an unexpected behavior and results will probably be noticed. For example, like you've seen right here. So if you want to use the placeholder and format specification correctly for floating point numbers, then you should use the %F. Just something like that. My average grade is %F 93.7. And now if you will try to run it, you will see your grade probably with a lot of zeros at the end, which is also okay, right? This is 93.7, and although there are a lot of zeros at the end, the number still remains the same. And in C language, you can limit the total amount of zeros after the floating point just by specifying how many digits you would like to see on the screen after the floating point itself. So for example, you specify 0.1 before the F, and this means that there will be only one digit after the floating point. Exactly as you can see here, there are no zeros after the 7. Alright, good. Now you know what is a format specification. This %D, %F, and many others are simply used as a placeholders with some format specification like we've just discussed. For example, %D will be used for integers, while %F for floating point numbers and %C for characters, and many other options are basically available in C programming language. So I hope that makes sense for you, because we are going to use that a lot in many constellations during our course. So last thing for this video, we've previously said that practice is one of the main things in this course. It's necessary for you to write and execute some code on your own. So I'm going to give you 10 exercises of format specification in the next PDF file, and I want you to try to take a look at them, to think what will be printed to the screen, and also open up code blocks and try to run it on your own. Make sure that what you thought that will be printed on the screen is actually printed out. And if it's the case, so you're good. You know that you covered up this topic in a good way. But if you see that something went wrong, try to figure out why it happened. Why the results you see on the screen are not the same as you would have expected. And that's one of the most important things in learning C programming, guys. To practice. Practice a lot, guys. So thank you for watching, and download the PDF file.